Hi there again, everybody. Welcome back to Prestige Auctions. It's auction aftermath time again. This was for auction 25th of January. Yesterday, it was a fantastic auction, I thought. A lot of bidding in the room, lots of people interested in the stuff that was in there. And there were some nice old pieces in this auction, so it made it a little bit more interesting for people. We finally sold the Picasso that's been in our compound for quite a while now. And everyone seemed to turn up for that one. There was a few interested parties. Of course, for some people, it was too much money. For others, it was just maybe not too much money, but more than they wanted to pay for a car of that age. It was 14 years old. So anyway, without further ado, let's have a look at... oh, no, actually, before we do that, don't forget, the auction that is on Easy Live Auctions, the ephemera auction, is finishing on Tuesday night from 6 o'clock. You can register for that and start bidding straight away. So if you are interested in any of that stuff, do get involved with that one as quickly as you can. It will end on Tuesday night. Right, okay, so let's have a look at yesterday's auction and see what were the bargains, what was hot, and all the rest of it. And I was impressed with this one. Lot number one. This was an extremely large brass eagle. They're not usually this big. As you can see with that speaker in the background, it shows you how big that was. And lots of bids for that one. Don't quote me, I'm sure it made about 40 quid, something like that in the end. And then, as you can see, there's all these little bits, all these really nice sort of antiquities and things that were doing fair money on all of them. Old German vases and stuff, and light shades and lamps, and then this one here, the resident boat buyer bought that one. Of course, we didn't want to have a not sold on the first page, so... These were doing okay as well. I think one of these did around £30. So, again, fair money for stuff like that. Then there was the odd bit of modern decorative in there. This clock, I figured this clock might have done a little bit more than it did, because I just thought it was just a bit sweet, a little bit different, nice pillared effect at the sides, but I think it only made a few pounds, that one. And so, you know, people that were doing the challenge and stuff, there was some good opportunity to buy yesterday, but the things that you probably really wanted to buy were too expensive, and that's what I felt yesterday, because, you know, we're doing the challenge as well, and some of the stuff that you really wanted to buy, you hope might go a little bit cheap, but it didn't. So some coloured glass there. Anyway, let's just come off that for a minute, and let's sort of whiz down it a little bit and see what we can find. Let's pick out some of the highlights of the auction. So all this stuff was doing okay. We had these Qurans, all these Qurans, they sold for a few pound as well. And then there was quite a bit of interest from dealers on this one. The old chalk dog there. This old stuff used to make piles of money, but it doesn't make as much as it used to. But it's still, there is still a market for it, so people are still buying it. As we come down here, again, another favourite of mine was this one, this eagle. This was a solid brass eagle as well, and that one did quite well. You know, that did a few quid. So the clocks, all of these clocks here, they were selling okay, and then you sort of got onto a few cheaper bits. Some of these brass bits and bobs. Captain Scarlet, that made a few quid as well. I think that was 30 something quid. 35 quid for an old Captain Scarlet there. Well, it just shows you, you know, this stuff doesn't want chucking away. It wants keeping, it wants preserving, and it wants selling at Prestige Auctions. So you come down here, Lego. Lots of hands in the room for Lego this week, so that was doing okay as well. As we come down here, cheap violins and guitars that were, and then of course the first sort of real highlight of the day was this. Well, what is this? Not everyone will remember these, but through maybe I'd say through the 80s mainly, these lamps were quite popular, and there would be sort of an oriental look lamp, but they'd have oil in the bottom. The oil would be on a pump, and it would run down the wires at the side, giving an amazing effect. It would be lit up. It would look like it's raining, but they were quite soothing. People liked them, but the thing was, over the years, if people kept hold of them when they became less fashionable, then people got rid of them. And so there aren't that many of them around. So when they do come into the auction these days, there's always a lot of interest. We had a lady do one up that came into the auction. And she did one hell of a job of it. Well, the lady that's bought this one yesterday, she was over the moon with it at the price she got it for, which was, I believe, £170. You can see the bulb in the top there, look, there's the bulb. Anyway, when they plugged it in, they said they don't think it was working, but they're going to do the best to get this one sorted out. And if you can get this sorted out, you know, that's sort of a £500 item in the market that we're in now. For a big one like that, you don't often see the big ones like that, so that's why it's more money. Anyway, that was one of the first highlights of the day. And then there was even money for the Coca-Cola bin, and that did about £15. So, you know, it just shows you all of these things we tell people week in, week out. When you're having clear outs, when you're clearing houses, what we find at Prestige is that so many people ring us up when they've had a house clearance to do, and they ring us up when all that's left is furniture. And what is the worst selling thing at Prestige in an auction? Furniture. All the good stuff they chuck away, or they hand out or give to charity or whatever they're going to do. So what we say, always get us in before you do anything, because then we can give you the best advice. And then you find all the interesting bits and bobs that are in the auction every week. There you go. That's one of the pieces that I bought for the challenge this week. So that's one of my purchases this week. Hopefully we can get that one away and make a few pounds on it. Neo again. You know, for weeks and weeks I was talking about how poor Neo and Ladro was doing, and then all of a sudden it's on the uppers. You know, people are buying it. I think it's because we've had a few nice pieces in, but there you go, it's doing money again, which is good. These two handsome looking fellas here, they did a few bob as well. And then we got on some of the Oriental. Now, talking of Oriental, you wait till tomorrow night's sneak peek. I can't recall us having as many smalls in the auction as what we're going to have this week. As you come down the thing, Hornsey Pottery. Of course, Hornsey Pottery has been shut for a lot of years. These were a little bit distressed, some of these. There's some damage on them. But again, doing money because Hornsey has got that retro look to it, and people are looking for that retro look. So when you've got things like the Hornsey, things like that one there, and as you come down further, more Hornsey there. These are in really good condition. It's making money because people are looking for that look. So if you do see that look out there, then try and buy it if you can buy it cheap enough. Watches, we're just making a few pounds each. There's not much money in those. And things like these boxes, these are always popular. People like these old design boxes. So, you know, again, more stuff to look out for every week when you're sifting through them charity shops and things. Boxes of mixed jewellery was doing just a few pounds. There was, when I say jewellery, you know, costume jewellery. This stuff struggled. This stuff really isn't popular anymore. So the old sort of Maasai warriors and things like that, this stuff had its time, and when in that time, these were expensive to buy, and the real resale market of them was really good. But now that seems to have dropped away. There's just not much interest in them anymore. So who knows? It'll probably come back. These were quite a surprise. These Rumtoff vases, they made, I want to say 20, 30 quid each, something like that. So they were good. Sorry about me sniffling. It's just so cold this morning, and I'm feeling it today. It's my age, I think. These did some money. These were nice. I was actually sort of talking about these at the start, saying if you remember these from the 80s and 90s, when people had this great idea of putting a cutlery set into a briefcase. But they did some money. I think there was around £40 odd a lot, and I think there was 2 lots of them. There you go. Look, them 2 there. So again, other items that came into the auction that were doing fair money. As we come down, of course, we come onto the front. We go down the middle of the room these days and sell off some of the smalls. Hoovers were popular yesterday. There was quite a few sharks in. These here, they did £40 odd a piece as well. You know, again, there was some fair numbers for quite average stuff, but again, it depends what people are looking for. Vintage clothing, there's a lot of that coming in soon as well. Again, not something we like to sell all the time, but there are times when it's worth selling, so we will put it in the auction. There we go. Once again, bags of teddies. Look at the bags of teddies, all sold once again. So again, there is a marketplace for that. Boxes of toys were doing well. Boxes of dolls. There was somebody in buying the dolls yesterday. So the person that had left the commission bids on the book didn't have it all their own way because somebody was outbidding you in the room. And the boxes of squishes, all this did well. All of these toys did well this week. So as much as you talk about you boot sailors that go around looking on the boot sales and saying it's just toys, you know, there is a market for them. You've just got to find that market and find the right gear. Now, this was a nice piece. Silver cigarette case with the naked lady on the top there, and that did £220. 2 good commissions on the book, and both got taken out by the room. So again, things like this, don't be tempted to take it to one of these scrap places and think, oh, I'll get rid of it for a few pound in scrap, because that's scrapped at about, I think it's about 70 odd quid, and it did 220 under the hammer. So again, as always, we give you that advice: bring the stuff to the auction, get it checked out first. The cartwheel penny, there was money for that in the room as well, and I think if I remember rightly, did that end up going to Doncaster or that way on? I can't remember, but again, I'm sure we might. If it did, I'm sure we'll see that one on another video soon. Don't forget, if you do like coins and notes and stuff like that, there's another channel from some of our customers here at Prestige, and they run a channel called Penny Pincher. Okay, so I'll check it out. They do some good stuff, to be honest, and give you some good information. More coins, and then this stuff here. This was an interesting some stuff. This stuff that came in, the stones and that are in these are semi-precious. So see if I can find like red coral and this one here, Dalmatian jasper, and so on. You know, not precious stones, but semi-precious, and they're quite nice items. They're very decorative, and there is some more of that for next week as well. So hopefully we'll get that through there as well. We did the video this week on the silver charms, and I think I was absolutely bang on once again with the estimates of these. The silver charms, they was doing sort of anywhere between £4 and £7 each, which is fair money if you've got those to sell. As we come this way, there was interest in the room for this as well, the TT pin, the little Isle of Man TT pin. Not gold, just a collectible. So again, another nice piece. There's only one piece of gold in this week, and there you go. I'm not quite sure why that's there like that. Anyway, as we come down further, we get onto sort of the back shelves, and this was I thought this was a bit of a bargain. This one, again, I've bought this for the challenge. I said that yesterday. It's an old Sony DVD player. Don't see many around like that. So again, at £3.54, why wouldn't you? As you come down here, there was hats, there was tubs of glass, all of the usual sort of back shelf stuff, and a lot of it was selling. A lot of it was selling this week, and people, you know, the room was a busy room this week. There was lots of people in. There was in the buying mood, so they wanted to buy, but they wanted to buy to make money. Of course, this stuff here, Lorna Bailey, is ever popular. The you know, she's like the modern Clarice Cliff. The designs are beautiful, the fantastic stuff, and every time I'd love to have bought these for the challenge, but they just went to too much money in the end. You know, sort of £40s and £50. By the time you add your commission, they're up to pretty much what they should make. So there's no money left in those to actually make any money. Let me just switch my phone off before it starts ringing during the aftermath. So as we come down here, Staffordshire Terriers, money for those as well. That was a surprise because they've been struggling in recent times, these Staffordshire Terriers. So I was a bit surprised when there was money for those. Lisa was up on the rostrum making animal noises by this point. So Betty Boop there, they was doing 18 and 20s. Again, to me, there was no money left in those for me to make profit, or anybody that was involved in the challenge. So people were buying those probably because they were collectors. We got into the back room. The back room was the back room, as it always is. You know, there was money for some boxes. There was not so much money for others. But again, most of the stuff in there sold, and even if it was just at a few pounds. Then we got on to videos, CDs, DVDs, things, and again, money for those there is every week. Books were doing okay. We did have another problem with books yesterday, which we're trying to address this week. Somebody keeps coming in and taking a book out of a box. Well, if they think it's some sort of challenge or something, we're going to catch you. Believe me, we are. Anyway, as we come down into the tool room, but all different tools. We're doing all sorts of different different money. There was some good stuff in there. There was some not so good stuff, and there was money for stuff like this. That was quite interesting. This sort of sausage dog thing or whatever it's called, and you know, they were doing a few pounds. All of the blankets there. These are what sort of moving companies. We have these on our vans. You know, they were doing, you know, sort of £15-20 a pile as well. So again, more reasons not to be chucking all stuff out like that. People just look at this stuff and think it's rubbish. That was cheap. There you go. There's one of the bargains of the day. Old Duckham's can like that, £3, I think that was, £3 or £4. Again, cheap money. They sell in the antique centres for 20-25 quid. So as people, they don't make them ones in metal anymore, so you know they're worth looking out for. Then we got onto a bit of a run of as we got into the back room, onto these garden planters and stuff. As we come to it, steps and stuff was doing okay. These planters were a struggle. Some were good, some were not good, and but it's one of those. As we got through the planters, there was money for anything decorative. So like that one there, the sundial, you know, that did more money because it was a better piece. Once you got through the planters and got onto the sort of normal pieces like this, you know, sort of garden decorative pieces, then the money came back again, of course. So it was just one of those things. That was interesting. The octopus plate. There you go. I'd not even noticed it. Even when I was walking around the room on Friday, I didn't notice that octopus was on there like that. So there was money again for gaming on the front table. There was some tools on the front table. There was that big camera as well, which, you know, it had a reserve on a £400, which I thought was a bit steep. You can buy these online for £220. So again, think about your reserves when you're putting stuff into auction, unless you want to take it home again. The thing is, the technology moves on so quick that these things can be harder to sell. There was money in the room for appliances again. Good appliances are making good money. That one made, I think it was 60-80 quid. The fridge and little under-counter fridge and freezer didn't sell. This was the dryer, I think that made 50-odd pounds. The cooker only made a few pounds, but there was a reasonable bid on the book for that. The washing machine, I think that made 80 quid as well. So again, good money for stuff like that. This clock, well, they are a struggle these days. They really are a struggle. But the thing with this one, it was nice and tall, and there was interest in it. Ended up making £200 under the hammer, that one. Not so much as they used to make, but still a nice piece at £200. And somebody, I'm sure, will be pleased with that one. Came onto the furniture. Furniture was a hell of a struggle this week. I'm not going to lie. It was hard work, the furniture. But bits did sell. We had some problems with the pictures, which we need to look into this week. You know, the normal day-to-day problems that you get in an auction. We had the nice air cold table with 2 chairs there. That was cheap at £110. And as you came down here, the furniture was what it was. It was just very average stuff. And that's why furniture can struggle sometimes, because unless furniture is really, really good, which we've got good furniture next week, then it will always be a struggle. But there you go. That's the auction that was yesterday, and I thought it was a great day. What I really liked about it yesterday was the feeling in the room. The feeling in the room was really quite good. People were there to have a good time and get involved. Get involved with the bidding. They were looking for bargains. You could see the anguish on the face of people when they didn't get the bids, but they smiled at the end of it. And that's what Prestige is all about. That's what this auction has become about. A fantastic community, people getting on and doing the right thing. We've just got to sort these little problems out with the person or persons that are moving books around and stuff like that. We have got a plan in place for that one now, so hopefully we'll get that put in the next week or two, and hopefully we can put that to bed as well. So as always, thank you for watching this YouTube aftermath special of the auction. Don't forget, Tuesday is the Easy Live auction. That's finishing from 6 o'clock. Get registered for that one today and get bidding on that one. There is money to be made in that one as well, and we've got another fabulous auction for you next week, which we can't wait for. If you did enjoy this video, then please leave it a thumbs up, and of course, if you can hit that subscribe and the notification bell, that will tell you every time we've got stuff coming on, new videos coming on. Doesn't cost anything to subscribe, so hit that, and hopefully we will see you all again very soon at the auction.